Well, sorry, may I just respond? Okay, well, you see, with hate speech, and why I didn't necessarily justify that. I said within a degree of legal reasonableness, you could defend it on that ground. But hate speech is usually directed at a particular ethnic group, racial group, perhaps people with a certain sexual persuasion. So, and usually hate speech is outlawed because it can incite violence and ill feeling. So, in other words, it's a concrete. It's something. It's people that are concrete, or it's it's a particular group that you singling out. Whereas what you're saying, and I didn't quite address, was that you were saying that there's a special category that has only relevance to you, and people who that category doesn't apply to must apply to themselves, and that's basically unfair. Because you're saying
no double standards.
Yeah, it's kind of this idea that I have this idea of this concept of sacredness. Now, as an agnostic or a rationalist, I don't have that concept of sacredness. I used to be a Christian, but I'm not anymore. But I no longer. There's no person that I bow down to. There's no ideas I bow down to. So
no ideas.
No, there's no.
Would you accept evolution as true?
Well, that's based on evidence. I don't worship that there's evidence.
I would love to debate you on the evidence.
Well, yeah, we can have a debate. Well, I think there's evolutionologists, but there's a thing called evidence. I know Christians don't always understand what that means.
We believe in evidence.
Oh, you do. Well, that's good. But to get back to the point about, you're essentially saying, if I may break it down, you're saying, I worship that portrait. Now, I come along and say, well, it's okay, it's kind of amateurish, but but it's reasonably okay. And then you're telling me I can't critique that because to you that's special. You're not saying because I should take it special, and why should I take it as
special? You're complaining about critique. What was in Rogue Magazine wasn't some objective discussion of the evidence for the resurrection or for creation. It was just abusive, as you said, puerile, juvenile, gutter speech against Jesus Christ and against God and against Christians. And let me just remind you, you can't say hate speech doesn't apply to Christians. Every year, about 200,000.
I never said that.
Sorry, 200,000 Christians are killed every year for their faith worldwide. There's 64 countries in the world where Christians are persecuted. There's no religious freedom. We have Christians being crucified, stoned, beheaded, chopped up, burned alive. All
that's all wrong. All completely.
Well, of course you're against it. But hate speech against Christians does lead to acts of violence against Christians. Every single day, the Christians are killed.
But again, if I critique Jesus and the idea of the Trinity is insane, the Bible is inaccurate, the Gospels as being inconsistent. Well, again, you might.
I'm not saying you can't do that.
No, but my point is that there is a big leap between critiquing the ideas, or even insulting Jesus. But again, I would never do that. Even insulting Jesus and saying, well, this is now blasphemy, because hate speech. Again, I would possibly concede that point, but blasphemy is a category that only religious people recognize. And also, if I may, to pursue the consistency point, why is it that if I were to insult Prophet Muhammad, you would probably not get that upset? If I were to insult Thor, or Wotan, or Zeus, or Juno, why, if I call Juno an idiot, why isn't that blasphemy? Because in our society, for the last 2,000 years, the dominant religion in the world, and particularly in the Western paradigm, has been Christianity. So when I insult God, when I insult God.
You asked an excellent question. May I answer?
Yeah, sorry.
As an atheist, you can thank God for Jesus Christ. Because there wasn't freedom for such views as yours until Christianity, particularly the Protestant Reformation, made freedom of religion possible.
Athens, the first city. Western civilization is rooted in Athens. All these said about university hospitals, that's all inaccurate.
You know that people got put to death in Athens for blaspheming the gods. Athens was not an atheistic society. They were a polytheistic society who worshipped many different gods, from Apollo through Zeus and all that, as you well know.
Yes, but there were different stages, the democracy.
And you also know they were not a democracy, really, because more than 3/4 of Athens were slaves. And women didn't get the vote. And it was
stop. I'm saying the foundation.
It wasn't the kind of
the gymnasium, the idea, all of that.
Well, a whole lot of us would have been slaves there too. But anyway, does anyone want to respond to our friends' comments? Yes.
I walked in a bit late, so perhaps I missed the beginning of the lecture, so I want to comment.
It's meant to be a debate.
Right, okay.
But the other side didn't turn up.
Okay. Well, I picked up a few things that you said. You mentioned religion as the source, or Christianity per se, as the source of hospitals and so on. And I believe that's sort of a broader paradigm where religion the same religion you gave us, the Inquisition and the Crusades. Would you blame Abu Ghraib or the Iraq War on the church? Not any more than like being hospital to say. I think that's
An answer?
well, that'd be great.
The Inquisition persecuted Christians. The Inquisition was anti-Christian. It was at a time when pagans had hijacked the church. You could buy anything, right up to bishops, archbishops, and popes and cardinals for money. And what were they doing in the Inquisition? You can read the records quite well. Do you believe that you can pray directly to God through Jesus Christ without going through Mary or the prophets or the saints? Yes. Throw them into the fire and stretch them on a rack. They were throwing Bible translators' Bibles into the fire. The Lollards, the Waldensians, the Hussites, the Anabaptists. What were they doing wrong? Having a house meeting, having prayer meetings, having Bible studies, praying to Jesus, believing you can be saved without the sacraments of the church. The Inquisition was anti-Christian. To blame Christians for the Inquisition is to blame them for their persecutors.
Well, would you
Christianity didn't bring about the Inquisition. The Inquisition was there to eradicate the Protestant Reformation.
Would you deny that the people running the Inquisition would call themselves Christians?
No, of course they called themselves
But
Christians. But
you're making a semantic.
But Jesus said, "Not everyone who calls me Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom, but he does the will of my Father in heaven." The people who love the Bible were getting burned at the stake. The people who hated the Bible and banned the Bible. You know that the Roman Catholic Church in the Middle Ages banned the Bible from the Council of Valencia from the 13th century all the way through till Second Vatican Council in 1964. Now, the guys getting burned at the stake, like William Tyndale, who translated the Bible to English, they were Bible believers. So I'm saying, while the religious guys in fancy dress might have called themselves Christians, their actions proved they were not. So, hey, don't blame the Christians for the ones who actually...
Okay, the Dublin atheism for Hitler style then. Okay, we can do complain like that. If you get because when someone tells me I'm Christian,
was
I take it
communism not based on
seriously.
atheism?
No, it's not. No, it's not. That's ridiculous.
Karl Marx said the three bases of communism is atheism, economic determinism, materialism.
Look,
Those are
an
the three foundations.
atheist may have this. Oh, okay. Well, then everyone that you just mentioned that persecute people, they believe in the Trinity, they will Bible, they believe in God. You said they're a Christian because they don't believe your version of Christianity, which leads you to believe that maybe you're the only Christian. Abraham Lincoln made a very...
We took about thousands of millions of people through the ages have believed what we believe in. We're not talking about a small group of people.
So what? That doesn't vindicate
It doesn't on its own make it true. But we would love to debate with you. If you would like to make a date, where we can sit and we can discuss from two sides with fair equal time, evidences for creation, evidences for what has atheism done for the world and what has Christianity done for the world. We would love to put a small board up.
That's not